everybody, my name's Jonathan and welcome to Bearly Unboxed. We are back with a Rainbow High video. I have not done a Rainbow High video since I did the hair chalk and style Moline Luxe, and I actually did pick up the Amaya Rain, so look for a video for that in the future for the hair chalk and style Amaya Rain, which I couldn't resist. I ended up getting her on a deal at Target. So anyway, today we're going to start taking a look at the Creative Crystals Rainbow High dolls. This is Iris Bow. She is a all-new character. Her artwork is really cute. I like that they have this new character who has yellow eyes. We have not seen any Rainbow High dolls before that have this eye color. I'm super excited about it. Her stock photo on the back is absolutely gorgeous. Overall, she kind of has like a red color theme. Even the box is red. And these dolls have a gimmick, like pretty much every Rainbow High doll these days, since the soft reboot into Rainbow World, which I will point out, this does not say Rainbow World anywhere on it. It just says Rainbow High. I thought that was kind of interesting. It still has the very holographic, shiny rainbow packaging, like all the Rainbow World dolls. And they seem to be going with this crystal theme since the soft reboot. And I actually really like the crystal theme. I think it's really cool. I just wish they would have handled the reboot a little better. You know, I do miss the added articulation that they took away from these newer dolls. But I think this is going to be interesting. So this comes with a bottle of resin, and you make 5 accessories, and it shows you down here that you can pour, create, and wear. It kind of gives examples right here. You even can make a ring for yourself to wear, which obviously is probably not going to fit me, but it's pretty cool that they have that. So these are the 5 accessories that you make: a pair of earrings, a bag, phones, and some glasses, and then the ring for yourself. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like this idea. I'm hoping it will work. As you can see, we do have the other 4 here. I only have them kind of here as a place marker. Today we're only looking at Iris Bow. I'm going to do an in-depth review on her since she's a new character. And also, I'm going to give a little, feedback on the resin and how it works. I've seen some people have issues with it, and I just kind of want to see how that works for me. I've worked with resin before they started putting it in all these toys. Like MGA was just like, we're going to start putting resin in kids' toys, which kind of doesn't seem like something that you want in a kid's toy. So I'm definitely, if you're getting this for a small child, you're going to want to sit with them and do this together, because you cannot really mess around with resin. Sometimes it can make you sick or irritate your skin, whatever. You know, I think they even tell you to wear gloves usually. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. First of all, we're just going to open it. We're going to take a look at her. I did pick this up from Amazon, but they do have these at Target now. This is the barcode if you want to look for her. I will put a link to both the Target and the Amazon link for them if you want to order them online, or if with Target you can do a pickup in store. They are available, so definitely look for them. So these dolls are like one of the first main series that do not come with stands, because even the Winter Wonderland dolls came with stands. So I'm kind of I'm disappointed. I love the stands. So there is a comb that you can see on the side right here, but no stand. So real quick look at the box. It does have her name on the side. I do want to point out that her name is very small compared to the other 4. I'm guessing maybe that was just a design choice, but I'm not really sure. It's kind of weird how it's so much smaller. You see that? I don't understand that. It's kind of weird. So these have a retail price of $24.99. I think the reason they got rid of the stand was because of all these extra bits that you have. They're prioritizing certain aspects over the other for the play value and for the value. That way, I mean, if they had a stand, they would probably charge you $29.99. But honestly, I would pay that because I like the stand. I do have some extra stands, so it's not too big of a deal. I don't have a red one, though, and I really wish I did for her. But when we get to that, I will show you the stand that I do have. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get her out of here, and then we'll take a look. Real quick look at her out of the packaging, but still all secured in. These are the molds for the resin. You can see they're kind of hidden. And there's the comb, which looks like it's also maybe like a stir stick. They've done that before, but this is a different comb than we've seen before. So there's what she looks like. I love this outfit. I think she's really cute. So let's get her out. All right, we got her out of the packaging. I have not unpacked any of the accessories yet. I just really wanted to look at the doll first. She is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this eye makeup. It's like this very soft rainbow effect that goes all the way around and then has yellow. Her hair is very soft. There's absolutely no product on this hair that I can tell, except for the very tips. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. Now, I will say the orange hair that's sticking out right here doesn't feel quite as soft as the dark brown hair. So I'm not sure if they're the same. I mean, this feels soft up here, though. So it could just be there's hair gel in it. I would love to give her a hair wash to get rid of this box hair. She does have a natural curl in her hair, and there is an extra bit of hair that fell out, which will happen. It always happens with Rainbow High dolls. Her outfit is really cute. It's a skirt, and it's actual like pleather, and then she has this sequined top that goes with it, and it has matching like gold and white on the sleeves that go with this. Her boots are probably one of the coolest pairs of shoes I've seen. They have rainbow buckles. I love that. Very cool. And then she does come with like other accessories, so we have to open those up to look at them. But she actually has rainbow baby hairs as well, which is really cool. And I like the way they did her lips, although mine on this one, they look like they could use a little more red. They're very soft. She has some box residue on her forehead there. There we go. But I love these eyes. They're like kind of a gold color, which is really, really pretty. I'm very happy with this. Now, these are separate pieces. They do both Velcro in the back. Now, as far as articulation goes, she does have the head tilt. There's some plastic in her hair. All right, so she does have the head tilt, and it can turn from left to right, which I love. She has the upper shoulder joint that is sort of like a kind of a ball joint. She has an elbow that goes about 90 degrees, and then she can sit, and she has the double jointed knees. So they have that. There is no upper thigh joint anymore and no wrist joint. But we're kind of getting used to that for over a year now. I think it's been about a year since the Rainbow World Soft Reboot dolls first came out. I think they came out back at the beginning of January last year, kind of the end of the year before people had started to see them. She actually has a very different color pink underwear. It's more of a salmon kind of pink, which I assumed she was going to have like red underwear because that seems to be like her color overall. These are all red. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know why they did that, but that's fine. The sequins on this outfit are actually falling off a little bit already. That's gonna happen with these. So I do have a doll stand for her now. This one I just ordered from AliExpress. I order Rainbow High doll stands from there all the time. Just when I have a little extra money, I can grab a couple and they ship right to my house. No, it's a great deal. Usually they're like $5. So I mean, like I said, if they would have included a stand and cost an extra $5 for the doll, I would have been perfectly fine with that. So there we have the doll. This is her comb, and it kind of has a crystal faceted side to it. You see that? And then this side says rainbow, and it's more flat. And, I wouldn't use this in her hair with how it has the texture. Definitely when you wash this, you're going to want to use like a wide tooth brush or a comb, because it can get really messy really quick. Really frizzy. All right, so here are all the accessories. I mean, there's a lot to this. So, I mean, this is probably going to take me a while to make all these. It comes with 3 different papers. This one, I guess, is probably one of those things they threw in as a little tip sheet. And it says, add UV resin as glue to loosened parts for repair tips, which is kind of interesting. And you can see like they're kind of showing how to do it. So if you make your resin parts and they don't quite like clamp in or stay in, you can use the resin as a glue, which is true. I've done that many, many times with artwork. I've used resin to make jewelry, to make eyeballs for creatures that I sculpt. I mean, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's look at these pamphlets real quick. They're in full color, which is really cool. I appreciate that. And this talks about creating the headband and the accessories, and then assembling everything. And then it shows the ring. So, very cool. And it has like more information on the back. And then this is, I think, like more of a checklist of the contents. And it gives you kind of a breakdown of how to use the resin. Warning labels, obviously. And then on this side, it kind of shows you how to use it, how to get it to fill in everything. And it shows doing it in layers, and then putting it in the sun for a few minutes, and then doing more. So this is definitely something that could take a while. It even mentions how you sand it. And I hope, let's see, it doesn't say, but you're definitely going to want to wear a mask if you sand resin. You do not want to breathe it in. I really don't understand whose idea it was to put resin in toys. Like, what is the age limit? What's the age minimum, I should say? Let's see. Oh, okay. So we have an 8 plus. I think that's fairly new. I think some of the other dolls are a little younger. So that's good. I don't know if 8 years old is the right age to be working with resin, but I'm sure they did some research, hopefully. I mean, I don't know. It's MGA. The warnings do say not suitable for children under 8 years. Adult supervision required. Keep younger children under the specified age limit and animals away from the activity area. Very warm, resin under UV exposure. Wash hands thoroughly before and after use. Keep wet resin away from eyes. If irritation occurs, discontinue use. Use in a well-ventilated area. Avoid direct inhalation. So definitely wear a mask. I've worked with resin many times. I have a respirator mask that I wear when I work with certain types of resin, especially 2-part resin, because it has a smell to it that you do not want to breathe in. So it also mentions how there is enough resin to create one of each mold piece, and to warm up the resin by rubbing the bottle in between your palms for a minute or more to make it easily pourable. Also, to make it easier to pour, try keeping the bottle upside down with the cap on in a cup or bowl for at least 1 minute. When poured, resin will take a few seconds to drip or spread. And if unwanted bubbles appear when filling the mold, use the tip of the comb. Okay, so that's what the tip of the comb is for, to pop them. Which, when I'm working with resin, I usually use like a toothpick. But it is nice that they give you this for that. So they give you a lot of direction and a lot of, which is good, because this is, you don't want to mess this up. If they only give you enough resin to make one of each item, you really, really want to get it right. All right, so let's take a look at these headphones. So these you can definitely use as is. And they have like a very crystal look to them. Or like hammered metal. I think that looks really cool, to be honest. Now, she has these space buttons, so I'm not really sure the best way to use these. Maybe like that. It looks a little weird in the back, but there's that. That does have a thing that you attach to it at some point, and there's a mold for that. I'll go ahead and get all this out and we can take a look. Took a little bit of effort to get everything out of there. Here is her bag, which you could totally use as is and just use it from that side. But when you make the resin part, it's supposed to snap into the back of that. This goes on her headband, which I don't know if there's a specific side. Let me take this back off her head. Okay, so yeah, this, I think it clips on somewhere. Oh, it's right here. It has notches that it plugs into. And then the resin piece that you make will clip into this plastic part on the top right there. But obviously, you could use it from this end and it would look fine if you took that off. Here are the earrings, which again, you could totally use as is. But when you make the resin, they clip into the side of those. And then here's her glasses. And also, those definitely could just be used as is, but the lenses click into this part right here. And this is covered in like dust or something, so I would clean all of these if you're gonna do the resin parts, especially you don't want to get any dust in the resin. Here's the ring. It has this faux plastic gem attached to it to kind of give you an idea. This is a really tiny ring. Like, The girl on the box they're showing wearing this ring, I don't even know if she would be able to wear it. I can barely put it on my pinky. So that's the ring. That would make actually an okay bracelet, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's too big. Yeah. Well, anyway, it is what it is. It's for kids, obviously. So there's also this little white tray, which I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Here is the mold for the purse part. Here's the mold for the earrings and the glasses. And then here is the mold for the piece for this. And then lastly, we have this little gem mold, which I do appreciate. It has the letters RH in it. And that's what goes on the ring. So very cool. And then here is the little piece of sandpaper, which is even Rainbow High branded, and it says 100 grit sandpaper. That's pretty cool. So it tells you the grit in case you need to get more. A lot of people already have sandpaper in their house for various projects they might do for their home, whatnot. So there you have all of that, which is a lot. This is definitely going to take a while to make everything. I think, oh, I see. These molds, they go in this little tray so that they're flat. That's what that's for. And then that way you can pour the resin in and it keeps it nice and flat. Whereas these are really chunky, so you don't really need something like that. Now, the best part of these is they feel like silicone, so you'll be able to reuse these. So even if you ran out of this resin, you could go to your local craft store, like Michael's Craft Store, and buy UV resin, and it's usually just clear, like translucent, so you can add dyes and embellishments, inclusions is what they call it when you add like glitter and stuff to it. So I mean, this could be a whole thing where you make different colors for everything if you wanted to. Make it your own, But, I recommend following their instructions unless you're already a pro at making resin stuff, is when you want to go and do like all the customizing things. So yeah, this is going to be very, very weird. All right, so I'm going to make all of these. I will record a little bit of video showing me making them. I'll show you how I cure my resin, because I actually do have what's called a UV chamber. And they're definitely not cheap. They're not something that most people are going to have unless you're maybe an artist like me. And I actually got it as a Christmas gift one year from my partner. So, it was kind of like my big gift that year. But it's come in very handy for making my own projects, but also helping with these MGA Make It Miniverse toys and now the Rainbow High resin toys. So we'll make all these, and then I'll check back in with you and we'll try all the accessories on and see how well they work. So wish me luck. I'll see you in only a few minutes. So here I'm just looking at the bottle of resin, and it does have warnings on it, of course. And I did not put gloves on to do this, unfortunately. I kind of forgot. I've worked with resin often, and I often forget to wear gloves, but definitely they tell you in the warnings to they recommend wearing gloves and eyewear. And I do wear glasses, so I at least had some protective eyewear on. So the seal on this you just take off, you put the lid back on, or I should say the squeeze part, the little spout. And then the lid just kind of pulls on and off. It doesn't really screw off. And that allows you to stand it on the lid, which is nice. So the instructions for this give you a lot of information, but it is in 3 different languages, so it's not as much as you think. And it just kind of shows you to do the bigger pieces in like 3 stages. So that's what we're going to do with those. That would be the purse and the headband. They want you to do in like layers. And of course, they're telling you to put it in the sun. So if you're going to use the sun for this, make sure you plan ahead and do this on a sunny day. And it helps if there's no clouds. You want full sun coverage. So I just start by squeezing this in. And it does help to warm the resin up in your hands. Like they tell you to rub it between your palms, the bottle, to warm it up. And then they tell you to squirt some in there, and then you just kind of like rotate the mold around until it covers the entire bottom and up the sides a little bit. And then you want to use the comb, the pointy end, to get out air bubbles, which I didn't notice that there were a couple air bubbles in this. I can see them now that I'm going back and watching this, but the end result, I don't really notice them. So don't get too hung up on the air bubbles, but there are a couple places where you do want to kind of make sure that you get all the bubbles out. Now this mold has a lot of points to it, a lot of like areas where you really need to get the resin down in there, and unfortunately I don't quite do that in one spot in particular, and that's the very top of the point. Also, I'm trying to salvage any of this resin that I accidentally got on the outside of the mold, because they tell you in the instructions that you only get enough resin to make one of each piece, but I have a feeling there's going to be a little extra because they want to make sure they give you enough. So I'm just using a paper towel and carefully wiping off the excess. That way it's a little easier to see where I need to get the resin to go. And again, I just put enough in here to do like one small layer. And right here's where I kind of made a mistake. I didn't let the resin go all the way down in the tip of that star, so you can see that. So just make sure when you're doing these to take your time, make sure you get down in there. I even try to use the comb to get it down in there because I noticed that it wasn't, but eventually later after it's been cured, I noticed that it didn't quite get all the way down in there. Also, you can kind of tap it to get some of the air bubbles out, which can help. And if you let it sit there a bit before you put it in the sun or under UV light, then the bubbles tend to come out on their own. Not always, though. So now this gem and the other pieces here, the earrings and the glasses, were very easy, I think. I'm sorry it's out of focus right now. I was trying to keep that in focus and my camera just did not want to play nice. Now the glasses, I do end up getting some air bubbles in, so if you're doing these, do make sure that you take your time and use the tip of the comb to kind of move the resin around and get all those bubbles out. Make sure you fill in all the spots. The gem is probably one of the easiest parts to make, and also the earrings turned out really good. You'll see later. So again, I'm just kind of poking the bubbles out here. It works really well. At some point I do switch to using a toothpick because it's a little thinner and it's able to get down into those bubbles a little better. And then they tell you to use the comb to kind of flatten and take off that excess resin. So that's what I'm doing here before I cure these. And I'm really appreciative of this little white plastic tray for this because it makes it so much easier to hold on to these. So here's my UV chamber. And so I'm just putting them in there for about 10 minutes each time, and it worked really well. 10 minutes is probably longer than I needed, but I wanted to be safe and make sure that it was completely cured because you don't want it to be gooey. So if it looks gooey, or if you touch it and it's gooey, put it back in the UV light, whether it be the sun or a UV chamber like that, or a black light. So here I'm just doing the second layers of these and making sure that I get all the bubbles out. Again, is such an important step. And definitely make sure to level these off. You want them to be flat for the end product. Definitely will not fit into where they need to fit into if they have too much excess, which is why they give you the sandpaper, I'm assuming. But oddly enough, I didn't have to use the sandpaper at all for any of these pieces. Here, these are all cured. These took only one time for about 10 minutes to cure them all. And I think they turned out pretty good. The glasses, though, these took a little effort to get out of here. You just kind of have to push around each edge, and then I kept trying to get them out and they would not come out. So I worked on the earrings instead, which those came out really, really easily. And they do have some excess resin around them, but I was able to just peel that off, which you will see. So the glasses, I figured out you have to push down through the middle of the lenses right there. I, for some reason, didn't realize that it was attached to those. So here you'll see there are some air bubbles, unfortunately, but they're kind of even in some ways, so it almost looks like intentional. So I'm not too mad about it. And these just popped right in so easily, and they actually stay in. I didn't have to use the resin as a glue, which would have possibly have made the middle parts look too messy. So, take your time, make sure that they don't look too messy. But the earrings, see, there's this extra, what it usually is called flash, I think. And the flash you can just peel off. It just came right off. I didn't have to sand these at all. And these just fit perfectly inside the earrings. Later on, I will notice, though, and I didn't notice at the time, that one of them especially kept falling out of the earrings. So I do eventually go back and glue it in after the video. So this piece took a little effort to get out because of the way that it's molded inside here. It's kind of enclosed, it has like a lip around it, but you just pop it out and you'll notice the tip of the star there is missing, unfortunately. So I thought about going back and redoing this piece with the leftover resin. So, but I didn't. I just left it the way it is and moved on. It actually doesn't look too bad. I think the resin looks way more pink than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be more red. Especially on the pieces that are thinner or smaller, it is very pale colored. And then here I'm just gluing this piece in with a tiny bit of resin because it kept falling out. And then they tell you that there's that little tip sheet I showed earlier, and it worked pretty well. You just put a tiny bit of resin in there, and then you put the piece back in, and then I just put it back in my UV chamber for another 10 minutes. No big deal. So just make sure, if you don't have enough daylight when you're done making these, wait till the next day for more sunlight and put them back out in the sun. I recommend putting them in direct sunlight because windows could cause the curing to take a little longer. You can just put them in a windowsill. I've done that with resin in the past. So this piece has like a little lip around the back that kind of clips in to the purse, but it didn't want to stay in just like the other piece, so I ended up gluing that in as well. See, it just comes right out. So I just put a little resin around the edges, put it back in, and put it in my UV chamber. I kind of did a final curing in my UV chamber after I did all the video, just to make sure everything was set. Because sometimes when you put it inside there like that, it takes a little longer for the UV light. Alright, so we got all of the accessories made. I will say I had actually a lot of fun creating these, and I think they turned out pretty good. Some of them have some air bubbles that I didn't notice until after I'd already put it through the UV chamber, because I didn't use sunlight like they tell you to, because it was dark, for one thing. And also because I have that UV chamber. You can use a black light. Like, you can use one of these little flashlight black lights, or you can get, like, they sell these craft UV lights, and I have one of those too. And they're usually a repurposed nail UV light. You know, when you get nails done, they use a UV gel, and then they set it with the UV light. So, I mean, you can use that as well, but I set everything into my UV chamber, which you saw earlier, and they turned out really good. So this is the side with the resin, and look at how cool that looks. And then that's the actual plastic side. It looks so neat. And then also, here's the headband one, all attached. Now, I will say I didn't fill all the way into the tip of that star, unfortunately, but it still looks pretty good. If this were to have been gold, like this is, then you would definitely have noticed that point being missing. But the fact that it's the same color pretty much, it's not too bad. And then here's the glasses all assembled, and you can see there are a few spots where there was a little air bubble right here and right here. But other than that, it doesn't look bad. It kind of actually looks like it plays into the design. Not too bad. And then here's the earrings, which these I didn't glue in with the UV resin, and I'm going to have to go back and do that because they keep falling out of the little thing. This just pops right out like that. So definitely want to glue them in, which I did do with both of these. I did not have to do it for the ring or the glasses. That just went right in and it stays in. And the ring actually is really cool. The fact that it has this gold plastic really helps play off the reflectiveness of it. I just wish it was a little bigger, because that's as much as I can do to wear it. I also wish it was able to be used as an accessory for the doll. Like, I guess you could put it around one of her space buns. If you can take the time to push it on there. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to show you what she looks like with all the accessories, because I actually haven't done that myself. So let's get these all on her. I will say the space buns make it really difficult for her to wear these headphones, and the space bun kind of hides the the emblem. Let me try it a different way. All right, so, I mean, that's in front of the space buns. It looks kind of funky that way. I think it looks better when it's behind them. Let's try that again. Yeah, so there it is behind, but then, you know, her hair kind of hides it. And also when she has these headphones on, you won't be able to use the earrings or see them if she's wearing them. So let's take that off so we can put the earrings in and see what those look like. I will say they didn't really plan that part out very well as far as having earrings and a headset. Yeah, the earrings look pretty good though. I like the way that looks. And see, you can already see that one's about to pop right out. So I'm gonna have to definitely go back and glue those in with some resin, like they say in the instructions. And then she also has her purse, which we can give her, and the glasses. Let's see what she looks like with the sunglasses. All right, so the glasses, I'm having a really hard time getting them to fit on her face. They keep wanting to pop off. But that's, you know, an idea of what she looks like with them. I'm definitely not a fan of those. I like the bag, though. The bag looks okay. But, I mean, when we go back and remember, you know, the older Rainbow Idols, they came with, fully functional handbags a lot of times. So, yeah, these glasses just do not want to go on her head. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe put them up in her hair. Well, that's also not really an option because of the space buns. They don't really fit on her head either. It's kind of upsetting how the accessories don't really work very well with the doll altogether, at least. But I think the doll itself is definitely gorgeous. I don't know if $24.99 is worth it just for the doll, if that's all you're buying it for, especially since it doesn't come with a stand. I had to provide my own stand. But honestly, I think she is worth, for me, for my collection, she's worth $24.99 because I actually had fun making all the accessories. It was definitely an experience, and going forward, when I open up the other 4 of these, I now have a better idea of how it works. So when I do the videos for these other 4, I'm probably not going to go through the process like I did with Iris, showing how to make each object. I'll just do that off camera. And then if you've seen this video, then you will have known how to do it anyway. And I'll just have to link to this video for anyone who hasn't seen it. So I think it was fun, and I will say the resin is practically empty. There's probably enough that you could make more of the earrings or another one of these gems if you wanted to. Maybe enough to make another one of this. I had problems getting the resin to go into all the corners of the stars, so you could probably make another one. Now, I did glue this in with the resin, so it's pretty in there, although if you're careful, you could probably pop it out if you wanted to redo it with the remaining resin. Just a word of warning, though, you might run out, and it might not be enough for you to actually get it to go in there properly. So, like this purse, the way it kind of snapped in there, it has like a lip around the edge of it that goes inside the plastic part. But it wouldn't stay in, so I had to glue it in. And otherwise, it could be a purse where you could open it up and put something inside if it was really thin. But that's just one piece now because I glued it together. So, well, there you have it. There is a Creative Crystals doll. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. It was fun reviewing her, but also making these items was a lot of fun. I hope we see more new characters or characters that we haven't seen for a while. They seem to do the same ones over and over again, like Bella and Violet, Amaya, and even Skylar. They seem to be ones that constantly get dolls, and I'm so glad that we were able to get this new character. I did hear from someone recently that said that she's going to show up in another line down the road, and I haven't heard anything about that, so but apparently she is. Hopefully we'll see that soon. I don't know if there's any pictures out there, and I haven't been able to find anything. Wow, she's really losing her hair though. There's a lot of extra hair on this doll that just kind of comes right out. So I would say she would benefit greatly from a hair wash and condition. And I'm probably going to do that, and then I'll show her in one of these other videos when I open these up what that looks like. But for now, I just left her hair as is because I think it actually looks pretty good just as is. And I definitely don't want to have to redo the space buns. So I really hope that we see Poppy return, but I keep hearing that they've been saying, MGA has been saying that Poppy's not a very popular doll, or orange isn't a very popular color. But then we did get a new orange doll in one of the previous of the lines of these. We got one in the sparkle and shine with the glitter legs. We got an orange doll. So hopefully we see Poppy again. I would love that. But in the meantime, I did go thrifting, and I went to Value Village near me. There was a new one that just opened up near me, and so I went and checked it out, and I found a Poppy, and here's a picture. It's a junior high Poppy, and I have said that I don't collect the junior high dolls, but because it was Poppy and she's just way too cute, I did pick her up and I gave her a makeover. I washed her hair, and here she is. I don't have a lot of junior high clothes, so I had to find things that worked. So I did give her this skirt from the normal sized Poppy doll, and the jacket as well. And I believe the shirt even might be, I think this is Bella's shirt. And then these socks are pink, and I think they kind of play off the pink that goes through her hair. I gave her pink sunglasses. Oddly enough, these shoes I gave her are Monster High shoes that I got from like AliExpress a long time ago, and I think they're like Cupid's shoes or something because they have like hearts on them and wings, but they work really well for her, and she even stands up in them. So I'm happy with that. And I gave her a drink too. Now she is missing this hand, so I just gave her this long sleeve jacket so it looks like her hand is actually up in the sleeve. So, it works. But I thought it was cute and I wanted to show you guys. So, yep. So I have a junior high Poppy now. So I now have a couple junior high dolls. I have Violet from the pajama sleepover series of junior high dolls, and now I have Poppy. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Creative Crystals Iris. She was definitely a favorite of mine. I love how unique she is with these gold eyes. So So thank you guys so much. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed, do hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications so you'll get notified every time I put up a video. That way you'll see the rest of these when they come out. I might do 2 at a time per video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care out there. Love you guys. Bye.